We are all used to ordinary houses, but in the world there is plenty of architecture that can amaze with its beauty and unusual locations. In this video, we will learn about a town that resembles a human anthill, incredible temples on the tops of cliffs, and the Fred Flintstone house. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. By doing so, you support us and motivate us to create more interesting selections. So let's not get distracted, let's go! In the Chinese city of Lisbon, a train passes through this building. The structure was designed with a metro station, making it unique. At first glance, it might seem that the residents are driven crazy by the constant noise, but it's not as bad as it seems. The design and construction include a noise suppression system, which significantly improves living conditions. The train slows down before entering the building, which minimizes noise and vibration. Additionally, the train moves on a magnetic cushion, so there's no wheel noise. This technological solution makes the noise from the metro inside the building even less than in apartments located near highways. Residents of the apartment in this building have a pleasant bonus. They don't need to travel far to catch the metro for work and errands. They can simply step out of their apartment to find themselves at the metro station. This unusual construction attracts attention of many people, so tourists often come to the building to film how the metro operates. The sight of a train passing through a building looks impressive and astonishing. Thus, this place has become truly popular among locals and tourists. Would you like to see this marvel of engineering with your own eyes? Write it down in the comments below. On one of the islands in Iceland, there is a house that can be called the loneliest one in the world. It is the only house on this green island. It was built by the Hunting Association of Elliot Island in the 18th century. Since then, several families have lived there. The house is situated on a hill. Its white walls and black roof are clearly visible on the island. Moreover, there are almost no bushes or trees around, so it is easily seen by passing tourists. To get to the island, you need a boat. This is quite dangerous as there is no convenient pier on the island. Tourists and adventurers who come to visit this house have to climb a steep, rocky slope. You need to jump as far as possible from the rubber boat to land on the edge. To prevent the boat from drifting away, it's moored and securely tied with a rope. Enthusiasts who reach the loneliest house overcome a dangerous sloping section. Near the house, there is a flagpole where you can hoist the flag of your country or organization. This house has been vacant for almost 100 years, as the family living there moved to the mainland in 1930. Since then, people from all over the world can visit the island and explore the house. Although the house has no owners, it is maintained and kept in good condition. Inside, the walls are paneled with wood, and there are various pieces of furniture for resting and staying overnight. Paintings and old photographs hang on the walls. The attic has a bedroom with several beds, so people can sleep here comfortably. Iceland is quite cold, so there's a fireplace in the house. However, there is no electricity or running water. Therefore, tourists who want to stay there need to bring bottles of drinking water and portable chargers. Sheep live on the island. They've adapted to life without constant supervision, although they can't be called lonely as tourists regularly visit the island to find solitude and admire the stunning landscapes. However, living there would be difficult, as leaving the island requires overcoming a dangerous and long journey. Would you like to try living on a deserted island in such a house? Write down in the comments. Mobile homes are usually intended for a few days trips or nature vacations. However, this trailer stands out from all the others. It can be attached to an ordinary SUV and set off on the road in comfort. Unlike many other trailers, it is much larger and designed in a loft style. At the entrance, there is even a small veranda. Inside, there is plenty of space. There's a comfortable sofa, a table, and a television. Above the veranda, there is a place where you can set up a comfortable double bed. On the other side, there are stairs leading to the second floor. There's a bedroom in there. This mobile home not only has a kitchen with a stove, oven, and sink, but also a washing machine. The interior is designed to maximize the efficient use of space, so there are plenty of cabinets and shelves for your belongings. There is even a huge refrigerator. You can pack a week's worth of food when setting off on a trip. And in a separate room, there's a full bathroom with a toilet, sink, and shower cabin. Space is also saved thanks to hidden cabinets under the stairs. In hot weather, a large ceiling fan comes in handy. The trailer has large windows, so you can avoid using electric lighting until dusk. Moreover, you can enjoy the views through the large panoramic windows. If you stop in a crowded place and don't want passerbyers peeking in, you can close the windows with blinds. The trailer is equipped with a 150-liter water tank and charging stations to power household appliances. Depending on the configuration, such a trailer costs anywhere from $25,000. Did you know that lighthouses serve as homes for many people? Although they are now being automated and are only periodically visited by technical workers for inspections and repairs, there are people who live alone in lighthouses for years, maintaining their operation. On one of the islands in Norway, Elena Henstensen lives in the Lidloy Lighthouse. She bought it in 2006 and has lived alone on the island since then. This small lighthouse is located on top of a hill. It is relatively short compared to other structures, with steep stone steps leading to its entrance. Next to the lighthouse, there is an ordinary house and several technical buildings. The history of the Lidloy Lighthouse dates back to the 19th century when it was built to ensure the safety of sailors in the North Sea. It was an important landmark for ships passing through these dangerous waters. Today, thanks to Elena's efforts, the lighthouse not only serves its primary function, but has also become a tourist attraction. Elena lovingly takes care of her home and gladly welcomes visitors, telling them stories about the past and present life at the lighthouse. Nowadays, Elena is not so lonely because tourists have started visiting her. Dozens of tourists come to the island to see this unusual place. The lighthouse keeper tells tourists about the island's history. But what is equally interesting for visitors is Elena herself. She shares what it was like to live alone on the island. Elena talks about her experience with weather conditions, maintaining the lighthouse, and other aspects of such an unusual life. Thanks to tourists, she certainly can't be called lonely. The Lidloy Lighthouse not only attracts tourists, but also offers them a unique opportunity to stay there. A few years ago, a small hotel was opened, allowing those who love solitude and want to escape the city noise to spend a few days in harmony with nature. The place looks simply fantastic during sunset. The evening sky over the North Sea plays with all shades of orange and pink, creating an unforgettable atmosphere. If you climb the hills near the lighthouse, you can enjoy an extraordinary view and take incredible photos. However, the weather in Norway is not always welcoming. The top of the lighthouse is well exposed to cold gusts of wind. When climbing the ladder, one must hold on tightly during bad weather, as there is a risk of losing balance. It's advisable to have protective glasses and a mask to shield your face from the cold wind. This person here covers their face with their hands against the cold wind. Even in summer, it's not advisable to be there without a hat and gloves. In the cold season, the island is covered with a beautiful layer of snow and ice. The red structure of the lighthouse becomes very noticeable against this backdrop. The completely red color of the lighthouse was chosen for a reason. It contrasts with the snow cover and serves as a reliable landmark for sailors, even in the worst conditions. The Lidloy Lighthouse has become a symbol of endurance and solitude that has transformed into harmony with nature. Look at the island from a bird's eye view. The house's roof and small path are barely visible through the snow, but the red dome of the lighthouse stands out clearly against the backdrop. This island and its lighthouse reminds us of the human spirit's strength and the ability to survive and thrive even in the harshest conditions. In Georgia, near the town of Chiatora, there is an unusual house known as the Stairway to Heaven. This is a true architectural marvel that impresses with its uniqueness. The building is located on a tall rock pillar, called the Kachki Pillar by locals. The temple, built at a height of over 40 meters, dates back to around the 8th century. Who and, more importantly, how exactly this was done remains a mystery. It's hard to imagine how anyone managed to construct a building on such a high rock without modern technology. Even today, building such a structure would be extremely difficult. Over the centuries, the temple deteriorated and fell into ruin until its remains were discovered by climbers in the 20th century. Historians still debate how people in ancient times climbed this mountain. Some suggest they used ropes. At the top of the rock, there is also a wine cellar, a crypt, and parts of a fortress wall. Thanks to the efforts of restorers, the building has been restored, and now it attracts tourists from all over the world. The Kachki Pillar has become a place of pilgrimage, visited not only by tourists, but also by religious pilgrims. Monks live at the top of the rock, leading a strict lifestyle of solitude and prayer. Just looking at the stairs leading to this temple, you can understand why those who fear heights would not dare try climbing it. The stairs look quite dangerous, and not everyone would take such a challenge. Many tourists come to the foot of the rock, but only a few manage to visit this house. Because the stairs are too high and steep, tours to the temple are not conducted. Only the bravest with strong nerves can climb the mountain. Women are not allowed to enter Kachki Pillar as it is a male monastery. However, tourists who come here and cannot climb the mountain can visit another temple at the foot of the rock and a small museum. The museum displays various artifacts and photographs that tell the history of this unique place. This is one of the most photographed houses in Scotland. It is a solitary building situated near a river and mountains in an incredibly picturesque location. There are no neighbors for miles around. Previously, it was a craftsman cottage. Currently, it has no residents, but it cannot be said to be abandoned. It has been maintained by members of a mountaineering club since 1946. Outdoor enthusiasts often stay here. Just look at how this place transforms during the summer when everything around it is green. A well-trodden path leads from the house to the mountains. Every year, thousands of mountain climbers from around the world visit the house. To protect the house from the wind, many trees were planted on the side. These are the only trees in the vast area. In addition to the main house, there's a small shed nearby. Thanks to this house, outdoor enthusiasts have a place to shelter from the Scottish weather and downpours during their journeys. In Iran, there is a unique village called Kandwavan that resembles a human anthill. This amazing place features houses carved into natural rocks, creating an incredible landscape. Hundreds of people have made their homes in these rocks, continuing to follow the traditions of their ancestors. For comfortable living, they have installed windows, built stoves, and set up their households to be as convenient as possible. Some rocks even have small extensions, adding even more charm to this place. These extensions were made in the traditional way, using stones and clay. At the foot of the rocks are ordinary, more modern houses that complement the scene and create a contrast between the ancient and the present. This place looks like something out of a fantasy movie where time has stopped. It's hard to believe, but many people still live in such conditions. Although it looks beautiful and unusual, most houses lack electricity and running water. However, living in the rocks has its advantages. For example, in hot weather, the interiors remain cool, making these dwellings extremely comfortable in the summer. The village of Kandwavan has become a real tourist attraction, drawing travelers from around the world. Tourists come here to wander the narrow streets where every corner breathes history. On tourist days, the village comes alive. Almost every resident turns their home into a shop or sets up stalls on the street, creating the atmosphere of an Arabian market. The stalls offer souvenirs, handmade jewelry, bags, and carpets. Some sell spices or street food, adding even more color to this place. Entrepreneurial residents even charge a fee to let tourists into their home, showing them their living conditions, which provides an additional source of income for the locals. Many people have their own farms, so you can see ducks, geese, and chickens freely roaming the streets. Some have workshops in these unusual houses, indicated by signs, although they are written only in Arabic for the local population. For example, in one such house lives and works a man who makes wooden frames for paintings. On some streets, you can see electrical poles, and some houses have electricity. So don't think that the residents of this village live in the Stone Age. They have access to technology and household appliances, allowing them to combine a traditional way of life with modern conveniences. In northern Greece, there is also the unique monastery complex of Meteora, located on the tops of majestic rocks. Once this complex consisted of 20 monasteries, but today only 6 remain. The Meteora complex impresses with its architecture, resembling an impregnable fortress. Some of the buildings are carved right into the rock, as if they are natural extensions of the mountain. Another part of the walls is made of brick. The monasteries are clearly visible from above due to the bright orange tiles shining in the sun, attracting the attention of visitors. Steep stairs carved on the edge of the slopes lead to the tops of the rocks. Climbing these stairs is quite dangerous, as they are narrow and often lack handrails. At the foot of the mountain, there is a modern road that allows you to reach the base of the rock by car. However, the real adventure begins with the ascent, which requires some physical preparation and courage. Meteora attracts thousands of tourists, not only with its unique architecture, but also with incredible landscapes. From the tops of the rocks, there is a breathtaking view of the town of Kalambaka, located at the foot of the mountain and surrounding valleys. This place is a paradise for photographers and nature lovers. Among the locals, there is a tradition of taking photos against the backdrop of the Meteora monasteries. This place is especially popular among newlyweds who want to take wedding photos against the backdrop of the majestic rocks and monasteries. For this, they wear comfortable climbing clothes to reach the top and then change into wedding attire on site. Although the climb takes several hours and requires considerable effort, the result is well worth it, as the photos turn out simply fantastic. The Meteora complex is not only a religious and cultural center, but also a natural wonder. The rocks on which the monasteries are located have a unique geological history. They formed over 60 million years ago due to the action of natural forces, and their unusual shape and enormous size are truly impressive. Would you like to take such unforgettable photos for your social media? Write down in the comments. Perhaps you will be the next to conquer the peaks of Meteora and leave your impression of this wonderful corner of Greece. This house is located directly on top of a dormant volcano in California. It resembles a flying saucer. This unique house has changed hands several times. Currently, it is owned by one of the universities. Visiting this place is not possible as it is privately owned, but you can see it from far behind the fence. It would be interesting to know if any tourists would want to spend the night there if a hotel were to be opened. Probably this place would become popular among enthusiasts of unusual vacations in extreme locations. Would you like to visit there? Share your thoughts in the comments. This beautiful Chinese temple is carved into the rock at a height of 246 feet above the ground. It's hard to believe that this temple was built almost 1,500 years ago without the use of modern technology, as the complexity of the work and the scale of the building are astounding. Some of the buildings stand on a brick foundation, while some rooms seem to hang over the cliff. They are supported by several dozen pillars. Inside there are many rooms. Currently, this temple is visited by monks from 3 religious traditions, as well as hundreds of tourists every day. This is another house whose owners refused to relocate during the construction of a bridge, so it had to be built directly above its roof. Because of this, several dozen meters of the bridge have only one lane for traffic. Not entirely practical, but what other options were left when the owners were adamantly against moving or demolishing the building? This unusual house is capable of rotating 360 degrees and reacting to the movements of the residents inside. The house is located on a special support, allowing it to rotate even in the wind. The structure tilts when people walk inside, resembling a swing. The concept of this house demonstrates the close relationship between humans, architecture, and nature. Inside there is a bedroom, a small kitchen, and a living room. There's even a veranda to sit outside. The entire house has panoramic windows, allowing for breathtaking views, but also making the residents the subject of observation for people who will come to see the unusual cottage. To enter, there is no need to jump or climb a hill. There are special stairs near the concrete support to access the inside. However, not everyone could stay there for even an hour. If you suffer from seasickness, you definitely wouldn't enjoy when your house constantly rocks and rotates with the slightest breeze. Moreover, although the structure is securely fixed, you can hear creaking when it tilts. Therefore, such an architectural performance is definitely not for people with weak nerves, although it looks truly unique. In the United States, there is an unusual house shaped like a shoe. It was built in 1949 by a footwear businessman who loved what he did so much that he decided to create a building that would attract tourists and remind them of his business. Apart from its unique shape, it is a regular house equipped with everything necessary for living. To save space inside, the stairs between the floors are located outside. In the backyard, there is even a doghouse shaped like a boot. Little boots adorn the windows and even the fence, so people passing by stop to take photos of this house as if it were from a fairy tale. In China, atop Mount Fangjingshan, there is a Buddhist temple. It is situated at an altitude of over 2,570 meters above sea level. This sacred place is visited by pilgrims and is also open to tourists from around the world. Just look at how many steps are needed to climb to reach the mountaintop. There are over 4,000 of them here. In some places, the ascent is very steep. It would take more than an hour to climb, but the result is well worth it. You'll not only see the ancient temple, but also breathtaking views of the mountains. What makes this place unique is that the rock at the summit is split into 2 parts. They are connected by a small bridge where tourists take photos. The drone footage of this place is simply fantastic. This place is called the Flintstone House, and it's no wonder, as it's made from a huge rock just like in the cartoon. But it's not an ancient house of primitive people. In fact, it was built by a miner in the early 21st century. It is located in the state of Utah. It is said that he was involved in making moonshine and supplying it to one of the industrial companies nearby. But there was a fire in the house. Its walls inside are still covered in soot. Everything that was there burned down. So if you get inside, you won't see any interior items. But tourists love this place and take photos near it when passing by. Some leave inscriptions on the walls inside, as if they were a modern cave people. In Portugal, there's a similar house made of large boulders. This house, known as Casa do Penedo, is situated amidst a picturesque valley near the town of Fafe. From afar, it's hard to believe that it's not just several huge stones, but rather a dwelling built using massive boulders with walls added to them. The peculiarity of such buildings lies in the fact that without knowing their history, it's difficult to determine when they were constructed, whether by ancient people, nomadic tribes hundreds of years ago, or in modern times. This house was built by a Portuguese engineer in 1976, taking 2 years to complete. He used 4 huge stone blocks as the foundation for the 2-story structure. The exterior walls blended with the color of the boulders, creating the impression that the house grew out of the ground. It has several small windows, placed somewhat haphazardly, adding to the building's fairy tale appearance. Hammocks can be strung between the stones, and there's even a pool nearby, enhancing the harmonious atmosphere with nature. In this place, you can enjoy scenic views and windmills. The nearest neighbors are several kilometers away, providing true solitude. It's worth noting that there are modern houses nearby as well, but if you think that by building such a stone house you'll live in seclusion, think again. Casa do Penedo is among the top 50 weirdest houses in the world, making it popular among tourists. Hundreds of people flock here on weekends to see the architectural marvel with their own eyes. Some tourists have bothered the owner so much that they tried to peek inside, and some even attempted to enter to see the interior. Several times, vandals broke the windows there. This forced the owner to install bars on the windows to protect their privacy. Because Casa de Penedo has become a pilgrimage site for tourists, the owners decided to move, ironically, to a less populated and quieter area in the city. At least now they are not bothered by hundreds of people trying to peek inside their home. Today, the house houses a small museum that attracts visitors. If you ever visited Japan, you probably know that there are many peculiar things there. How about transparent public toilets? From the street, you can see what's inside. Their walls are made of multicolored glass, and hundreds of people pass by them because they are installed in busy and touristy areas. But don't think that if you use such a toilet, all passerbys will see what you're doing. When you enter and close the door, the glass instantly changes color, and transparency disappears. It's not magic, it's just physics. This is called electrochromism. Simply put, special glass can change its transparency under the influence of electric current. So when the cabinet is closed, thanks to electricity, you can have privacy. Such toilets have several advantages. First of all, they appeal to the Japanese with their appearance because they're not ordinary metal or brick boxes. They always maintain cleanliness inside because the cabin becomes transparent. Moreover, such constructions are inexpensive, but some people still look for ordinary toilets, fearing that something might go wrong and the glass will become transparent at an inappropriate moment. In Huntington Beach, near the ocean, there's an unusual house in a water tower. It was renovated, repaired, added windows, and turned into a fantastic accommodation with a great view of the city and the ocean. The structure is located on special wooden supports. To enter inside, you need to climb stairs. The house has several floors and panoramic windows that are installed all around the top floor. Inside the tower, modern repairs were made. Spiral stairs were used to save space. Almost everything is made of wood and some windows have stained glass. This is a very popular tourist spot. Dozens of people come there to see the unusual house and admire the views. In one of the rooms under the ceiling, there's a model railway. There's a large and spacious kitchen, a comfortable bedroom, and several bathrooms. One of them is even surrounded by mirrors, and an unusual stained glass chandelier lights it up. On the top floor with panoramic windows, there's a kitchen, several sofas, and places to relax. On the ceiling, there are more stained glass and a fan. The owners allow tourists to visit their home on tours. This Italian sanctuary, Madonna della Corona, is located on one of the cliffs. To build it, they even had to carve parts of the rock. It's not just a temple, but a whole complex of buildings where monks live and work, maintaining a spiritual atmosphere and preserving ancient traditions. It's hard to believe that all this was built on such a cliff, where every element of the structure looks as if it's part of nature itself. The first building appeared on this site in the 16th century when pilgrims decided to create a sanctuary in this remote location. Later, the complex began to expand, adding new structures and renovating old ones to meet the needs of the growing community. Getting to this place is a real adventure. First, you need to drive to the foot of the mountain and then climb up narrow stairs and roads. This journey itself is part of the spiritual experience because pilgrims heading to the sanctuary have to overcome physical challenges symbolizing their spiritual path. On the way to the sanctuary, there's a tunnel carved into the mountain, emphasizing the isolation and protection of this place. To climb to the church, you have to overcome many steps leading through steep slopes and narrow passages. These steps are carved into the stone. Along the way, you can enjoy picturesque views of the valley and mountains that unfold from each new level. The exhausting ascent is rewarded with magnificent views of the temple and the surrounding landscapes, leaving an unforgettable impression on everyone who comes here. The Madonna della Corona complex includes not only the temple itself, but also several chapels, cells, and utility buildings. In China, you can sometimes see houses on various bridges and highways. This is quite a common phenomenon. The owners of these houses refuse to move from their land during the construction of such projects, even for large compensations and new houses elsewhere. As a result, the authorities have no choice but to build roads and bridges around them. One of the most famous examples is located in the city of Guangzhou. The owner of this old house has refused to move for 10 years, so her house is now inside the bridge. The view from the windows of this house is far from the best, as they only show the concrete walls of the bridge surrounding the building on all sides. To get inside, you you need to descend under the bridge, which in itself is not the most convenient way of entry. Life in such a house can hardly be called comfortable. The constant hum of cars, especially in rush hours, disturbs the peace and quiet. The vibrations from passing cars are also quite noticeable. This unusual house attracts attention not only of local residents, but also of tourists who come to see this architectural wonder. Every day, hundreds of people gather near the fence, take pictures of the house, marvel at its location, and discuss the owner's bravery. Some even descend into the yard to get a closer look at the building. However, the owner seems indifferent to such attention. Perhaps she is even pleased that she managed not only to defend her rights, but also to become a sort of local celebrity. What building would you like to visit? Write down in the comments which structure impressed you the most. Turn on notifications so you won't miss the next interesting video. See you soon.